All right, so the first muscle we're learning is the biceps brachii. I imagine most people are familiar with the biceps brachii. That is going to be located here on the arm. Very popular muscle. I could probably work on developing that a little bit more, but that's a story for another day, all right? Don't judge my biceps, okay? I'm holding back. I don't want to show off or anything, right? So the biceps brachii, I'm going to reference my chart here. Maybe you have something you can reference. Of course, the images are provided in the course, but I'm going to point to that. All right, that's the biceps brachii. Okay, and let me tell you about the biceps brachii. It does 3 actions. It does supination of the forearm, it does elbow flexion, and it does something that a lot of people are not familiar with. It does shoulder flexion. So I thought that's a pretty cool thing about the biceps brachii. So impress your friends with that extra knowledge they may not have. Did you know the bicep does shoulder flexion as well? All right, so it's got those 3 actions. The origin, now the biceps, the etymology of the word ceps means head. So where that word comes from or what its meaning is, I don't know where it comes from. I could look it up, but who cares? Ceps meaning head, bi meaning 2, so 2 heads. Bonus information there. It might be a way for you to start to piece things together when you understand that a lot of the terminology in anatomy is just like fancy speak for words we already know, all right? You got lateral, that means out here. Medial, it means inside. You got superior, it means above, right? So things like that are gonna come in handy. And over this course, you're gonna start to see that over and over again. But anyways, back to the biceps, okay? So I know that its origin of the short head is gonna be on the coracoid process of the scapula. Its origin of the long head, which is lateral, the long head is lateral, that's gonna be on the supraglenoid tubercle of the scapula. Both muscles, so it's got 2 origins, both muscles are going to insert. It has 2 insertions. It's going to insert at the tuberosity of the radius. The biceps are rad, the radius is rad. So the tuberosity of the radius, that's going to be this bone over here. And the bicipital aponeurosis, which is just a sheet of fascia. You can kind of see that on me, I think. This is like a weird little shape right here. And you'll see in the images, but that's the bicipital aponeurosis, which basically means a sheet of fascia, okay? So that is the action, origin, and insertion of the biceps brachii. Let's pull out our friend here. Few reasons why I like this model. We go way back, like New York, I think it was we first met. Yeah, so we met in New York. I like this model because it was 50 bucks and it allows me to study in greater detail some of these things that we're learning. Now, if I wanted to really do something awesome, I would have a full-size skeleton, but to get those skeletons with the origins and insertions paint on, it's like $1,000. So it's on my shopping list, but I'm not using that money for a skeleton just yet. And plus, having a full-size skeleton in your house may be weird to some people. I think it'd be awesome, but whatever. This is a nice little decor piece. Nice for me just to study the details. I would say that the paint job on this thing is probably not as accurate as it could be, but I can still use the references I have, and just, if anything, it's gonna help me like learn it better, because I'm gonna be like, wait, that doesn't seem right. Let me check my information. I'm gonna find where that origin or insertion actually should be. So origins are red, insertions are blue. Little rap that helps me remember that. Okay, if you know the song, bonus points. But I obviously didn't sing it very well. But yeah, it's a hip hop song or rap. I don't know. It's a good song. But origins are red. Okay, I'll move on. Geez, sorry. Calm down. Anyways, so talking about the biceps, right? So I have a skeleton so I can see, because I can point to my body, and I should point on my body where these muscles are going to attach to, so that you have an idea. Because when you're working with muscles, it's going to be covered in skin, right? You're not going to be like able to see right down to the bone, hopefully. Oh boy, some of you might be working on that, but good for you. All right, so I'm going to look at this model in more detail. So we're talking about the biceps brachii. I know that it has 3 actions. I don't want to break the skeleton, so we'll do the actions. He does elbow flexion, it does supination of the forearm, it does flexion of the shoulder. Okay, always good to review, repeat. I know it's got a short head on the medial side and a long head on the lateral side. The short head's going to insert on the coracoid process of the scap. I don't expect you to see this very well, so I encourage you to maybe get one of these cheap models so you can kind of study in greater detail if you want to take it to that level. I don't expect anyone to invest $1,000 to learn this stuff. So $50 is $50 to $100 maybe even, I don't know, is a decent investment to further your knowledge. So I got the coracoid process, right? That's part of the scapula. So you can kind of see how that plays out. You can feel the coracoid process on your body. The more uncomfortable it feels to push there, the more likely you're on that coracoid process. So the biceps brachii is basically attaches to that tip here. And the long head of the biceps goes up to the supraglenoid tubercle of the scapula as well, which is going to be this like top little point, really hard to see. Even on when it's painted on, it's very, very small. Okay, you're going to wonder like, how does it even attach there? Like, no wonder people tear their biceps, right? That's not why, but it just seems like it's just amazing that thing actually holds up there. Okay, so cool thing too about the structure of the bone, like its shape is created based off of the way the muscles move on the body. So the way that long head of the biceps moves and contracts, it's created this nice little groove in the humerus. That's how that bone gets that shape. Okay, so another nice little reference there for the bony landmark. I know those muscles are going to insert on the tuberosity, so thumb side, the rad side of the arm, the forearm is the radius, and this is that small little thing that comes out here. The little tuberosity is what it's called, a little nice little bump. So that's where both the long head and the short head of the biceps insert. Yeah, so that's your biceps brachii. Thank you for your participation.